Hello, I'm NishaPandey and you're watching Prime Times News. Let's start with the headlines. President Bidya Devi Bhandari states the need for adequate international laws for the best interest of mountainous and island countries, points out the need for international laws to address the challenges posed by climate change. The policy convention of the Congress in confusion even after a long time of holding general convention for the selection of the leadership. Date of policy convention still not fixed. Chair of Maoist Center, Pushpa Kamal Dahal says that Nepali Congress should be more liberal while allotting the seats in such a way that every party in the alliance is satisfied. Spain and Brazil have reported one death each from monkeypox in what are thought to be the first fatalities linked to an outbreak of the disease that began in early May. And the South Asian Football Federation SAF announces the group division of Women's SAF Championship. Nepal placed in Group B. Now news in detail. President Bidya Devi Bhandari has stated that there was need for adequate international laws for the best interest of mountainous and island countries. Addressing the inaugural session of the Asian Regional Conference on International Law today, President Bhandari pointed out the need for international laws to address the challenges posed by climate change. The event was organized by the Nepali Society of International Law Society and Asian Society of International Law in Lalitpur today. The President said that there were no adequate international laws to protect the interests of the mountainous and island countries, although many international conferences on climate changes were held over 3 decades. She viewed that only a world order based on justice would help really understand the specific needs of developing countries like Nepal and the need to formulate policies accordingly. Stating that Nepal was against wars and upheld the view that resolution to any disputes between countries should be sought through peaceful means. President Bhandari shared that Nepal also strongly held the belief that the unhealthy competition among the countries for nuclear weapons should be stopped. She further said that Nepal has a clear viewpoint that only policy of peaceful coexistence, sense of fraternity, non-aggression, and non-intervention would contribute to the development and compliance of the existing international laws. She drew the attention of the conference to concrete distributions of Nepal to the development of international laws based on specialized historic experiences and unique context of the dimension of international relations and topography. CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli has said that the report of the Parliamentary Special Committee formed to investigate Janardhan Sharma is incomplete and cannot be accepted. In the program held by the National Youth Union today, he said that the report of the Parliamentary Committee cannot be accepted as the report was brought on the basis of majority and minority vote. Oli alleged that the Parliamentary Committee was formed so that the ruling coalition would have a majority. He said that the people should also reject the report as it is not based on facts. Oli said that the investigation committee was not allowed to see CCTV footage and call details. In a different context, Odi commented that others could not do in 20 years what the CPN-UML government had achieved. According to Oli, the Congress has not been able to work like CPN-UML so far. He complained that many work done by the UML government were not publicized. Similarly, Chair Oli has said that wrong culture is starting to appear that young people must hold office. Although the Nepali Congress elected a new working committee through the 14th convention, the date of the policy convention has not been set. Congress has not been able to hold a policy convention to pass the policy and agenda even after more than 8 months since electing its leadership. The convention held in November also mandated the Central Committee to hold a policy convention in the near future. The policy convention will determine the principles, ideals, values and beliefs of the Congress as well as the strategy of the party until the next convention. However, the Congress leadership is reluctant to hold a policy convention. Even though it has been long since the convention, the Congress has not been able to fix the date for the policy convention. Because there is no policy convention, the leaders and workers of the Nepali Congress from the local level to the top level are in a state of having no policy and no direction. But the leadership still has not stopped repeating that they will hold a policy convention soon. There is a high chance that the federal and state elections will be held in the month of November. In such a situation, the chance of Congress holding a policy convention before the election is very low. With this, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Maoist Center Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda has reiterated that the five-party alliance would continue until the elections to the House of Representatives. He said the chance of forming another alliance looks slim. He said that the five-party alliance will continue until the upcoming elections. He, however, said that the Nepali Congress should be more liberal while allotting the seats in such a way that every party in the alliance is satisfied. Dahal has ruled out the chance of the formation of the Socialist Center at the moment. He, however, clarified that efforts were on to form a communist front in favor of changes for the upcoming elections. At the program of the CPN Maoist Center's Liaison Coordination Committee in Kathmandu today, he said that discussions are underway to forge communist alliance for election. But a decision is yet to be made. He added that for an electoral alliance, communist parties in the incumbent government, including the Maoist Center, the CPN Unified Socialist and the Janta Samajwadi Party, had been in talks, but they want to continue the existing alliance in the incumbent government until elections. CPN Unified Socialist Chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal has expressed the belief that the five-party alliance would continue even after federal and province assembly elections. Speaking to media persons in Silguri today, Chairman Nepal reiterated on the need to take the ruling coalition further ahead to safeguard democratic norms and values. He arrived at Silguri to address Unified Socialist cadres district-level gathering organized by the party's Doti District Committee. He shared that an agreement has reached among top leaders of the five-party to continue the alliance even after elections as it is necessary in the present context. Chairman Nepal said that the party did not get expected result in the local level election while trusting only the five-party alliance, adding that he is sure the party will get victory in more seats than expected in the federal and province assembly elections after the election review. 438 more COVID cases has been confirmed in Nepal. Out of 779 PCR tests conducted throughout the nation, 292 people were tested positive, whereas 146 were tested positive in 1,920 antigen tests. Ministry of Health has reported that 2 more deaths have been registered due to COVID. With this, the death toll due to COVID has reached 11,966 in Nepal. Similarly, with 277 more patients recovering from COVID, the total number of cured patients have reached 9,69,965. Currently, there are 4,360 more active cases being isolated at different places throughout the nation as per the ministry. Out of them, 4,218 are isolating themselves at home, whereas 151 are being isolated at hospitals. Out of the 151 isolated, 33 are in ICU, whereas 4 are being treated at ventilators. World Day Against Trafficking was observed in Nepal as well today. World Day Against Trafficking is observed annually on 30th of July to make people aware of who is being trafficked. The day aims to educate people that trafficking in persons is considered to be a crime, including the exploitation of women and children of tragic jobs of forced labor and sex. Every year across the globe, this trafficking, this exploitation of more than 25 million victims by sexual exploitation or forced labor generates more than $150 billion in criminal revenue. It represents a comprehensive security issue, fueling corruption, irregular migration, and terrorism. This year's theme, Use and Abuse of Technology, focuses on the role of technology as a tool that can both enable and impede human trafficking. In 2010, the United Nations General Assembly had adopted the Global Plan of Action to deal with trafficking in persons, urging governments all around the world to take coordinated and consistent efforts to defeat it. The plan is aimed at integrating the fight against human trafficking into the broader programs of the United Nations in order to stimulate development and strengthen security all over the world. It's time for another short break. Please stay tuned for more news. Welcome back. Let's move on to international news. Spain and Brazil have reported one death each from monkeypox in what are thought to be the first fatalities linked to an outbreak of the disease that began in early May. Spain is one of the world's worst-hit countries with 4,298 cases of the virus, according to the Health Ministry's Emergency and Alert Coordination Center. The center said in a report that of the 3,750 monkeypox patients with available information, 120 cases were hospitalized, that is 3.2%, and one case has died. A health ministry spokesperson declined to give further details on the patient who died. An autopsy is due to take place. In Brazil, the patient who died was a 41-year-old man. The health ministry said he also suffered from lymphoma and a weakened immune system. He had been admitted to the hospital and died from septic shock after being taken to the intensive care unit. Brazil's health ministry has recorded close to 1,000 monkeypox cases. Along with the United States and Canada, it is one of the countries that has been most affected by monkeypox in the Americas. Ukraine has called for the United Nations and the Red Cross to be allowed to investigate the deaths of more than 50 Ukrainian prisoners of war in an attack in occupied territory. The Red Cross said it is seeking access to the prison in order to help with evacuating and treating the wounded. Ukraine and Russia have accused each other of attacking the camp. Unverified Russian video footage of the aftermath shows a tangle of wrecked bunk beds and badly charred bodies. Ukraine says the site was targeted by Russia in an effort to destroy evidence of torture and killing. President Zelensky described the incident as an intentional Russian war crime. For its part, Russia said that the camp was hit by Ukrainian precision rockets. Those detained at the prison are said to have included members of the group who were captured defending the southern city in May and whom Russia has sought to depict as neo-Nazis and war criminals. Russia's defense ministry said the strike had been carried out with the US-made artillery, and it accused Ukraine of an intentional, perpetrated provocation. Now, sports updates. Group division for Women's South Championship football to be held in Nepal has been announced. The South Asian Football Federation SAF announced the group division of Women's South Championship today. SAF has divided the participating 7 teams into 2 groups. Nepal has been placed in the comfortable group in South Women's Championship football scheduled to be organized in Kathmandu. While the South Asian Football Federation SAF divided the groups today, Nepal fell in Group B. This group includes Sri Lanka and Bhutan along with Nepal. Similarly, in Group A comprises previous winner Maldives, India, Bangladesh and Pakistan. 7 countries will participate in the tournament to be held at the Dashat Stadium from 6th of September. The event will conclude on 19th of September. Chief coach Kumar Thapa has called 58 women players for preliminary selection of SAF Championship. With this, we have come to the end of the news. Before wrapping up, here are the headlines once again. President Bidya Devi Bhandari states the need for adequate international laws for the best interest of mountainous and island countries, points out the need for international laws to address the challenges posed by climate change. The policy convention of the Nepali Congress in confusion even after a long time of holding general convention for the selection of the leadership. Date of policy convention still not fixed. Chair of Maoist Center, Pushpa Kamal Dahal says that the Nepali Congress should be more liberal while allotting the seats in such a way that every party in the alliance is satisfied. Spain and Brazil have reported 1 death each from monkeypox in what are thought to be the first fatalities linked to an outbreak of the disease that began in early May. And the South Asian Football Federation SAF announces the Group Division of Women's SAF Championship. Nepal placed in Group B. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching Prime Times News. Good night.